Sometimes we have negative thought patterns, and typically these become self fulfilling prophecies. Our brain loves to find evidence for our beliefs and it will align our actions accordingly. So, for example, if you believe you are unlovable, you will unconsciously seek evidence or situations that actually prove it while ignoring evidence to the contrary. And this is because our brain wants a consistent and safe narrative. And remember, safety is often about familiarity and certainty, not what's necessarily good for you. So, what can we actually do about this? Well, you can't control the thoughts that come into your head, and trying to do that is honestly just going to only make things worse. But what you can do is start to control what you do with the thoughts that come into your head at any time. Now, a great method here is called Socratic questioning. And there's a few simple steps you can repeat anytime. You can carry it everywhere with you, and it will serve you really powerfully. Now, the very first thing you want to do is you want to identify the story you are telling yourself. This step is so crucial because you can't change what you're not aware of, but also because it allows you to temporarily disassociate from that belief or thought. You actually take a sidestep and see what is happening. You're not in it in that moment. The second thing we want to do is we want to examine that story. Is it 100% fact? Are there any assumptions? Has there ever been counter evidence? Are there times that this is simply not true? We're just looking to poke some doubt. And then once you've done that, we want to ask this crucial question, which is what would you rather believe instead? And this is essential because this is the replacement belief that people just always miss, right? By being clear here, we create an outcome that we actually want rather than having to default to what we know, which is the situation we're trying to avoid. So also don't be shy here to use ing words, becoming, learning, getting, because that's another really great way to just avoid getting trapped in an all or nothing mindset. Right, and then finally, what we want to do is we want to try on this new thinking, this new idea, like a new pair of shoes. They might not be comfortable at first, but if you walk in them for a bit of time, if you give them a chance, they might just become your favorite pair that you always go to and you love wearing. Now, if you did believe that right now, if you took on this new belief and you tried them on like a pair of shoes, what would be the smallest step you would take? And if you can't take that step, that's fine because you just repeat the process. You go, what's the story I'm telling myself about this step? Is that 100% true? What would I rather believe instead? And if I did believe that, what would I do right now? You go and do it. This is really powerful because it's a compounding technique, right? It's so simple, but it consistently snaps you out of the common stories and things that hold you back. Most of the time it's made up, but most importantly as well, it does one thing, which it helps you create evidence for a new belief. And over time, you really start to understand and embody this exact change that you've been trying to make. And you don't have as many of those negative thoughts until eventually you just are what you say you are. Now, if you want a recent example from me, here's a way that I applied it. I've been really struggling with social media. I've got all these stories in my head. So I use this technique. I say, what's the story I'm telling myself about social media, about creating content, about doing videos like this? And the story was obvious. It's hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm crap at it. So I just take a step and say, well, is that 100% true? Is it really hard? It can't be that hard because a lot of people are doing it and there are a lot of resources. Am I really that bad at it? Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. So clearly it's just something I need to work at. So then I think, what's the thing that I would rather believe? I'd rather believe I'm getting better at it. I'm learning. I'm becoming more skilled at it. I'm grasping it. And if I'm believing that right now, what's the step that I would take? I just practice. I go and make videos like this that won't be perfect, but they're getting me closer to where I want to be. And if I keep doing this, I know that in a couple of months' time, I'll look back thinking, wow, it's a lot easier than it was then. I'm probably going to think as well, I can do even better than I'm doing now. So that's a really simple way from me, but you can try it on anything. If you're feeling not good enough, if you're feeling hopeless in your career, in your business, in dating, try it. What's the story that you're telling yourself? Is that 100% true? What would you rather believe? And if you believed it, try it on as a new pair of shoes. What would you do right there? Take that first step in those new shoes, create evidence and see what happens. Let me know how you get on with it. I think it's such a powerful technique, so simple, but if you really grasp it, it can change your life.